Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
You. Can you hear me?
I'm going to call. I can hear you now, Randy. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah. I can hear you. Okay, if you wanna switch over
Okay,
to
the phone's
phone, we
breaking up really
can.
bad. I'm about to switching over now.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, that's much better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. It's all good. This is why we adapt and overcome. So, Rocky, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So, I was born in New York in the Bronx. My parents are first generation directly from India. I think they were here about 5 or 6 years before, I was born in New York. Um, our family's up there quite a bit. We had, a lot of family in New York, Canada, across the border. My father was following a career path and moved the family down south to Mississippi pretty quickly. And kind of down there, where I kind of began my life and working up my life. I took a couple of different turns as well, as far as the boot camps, the military schools, and eventually, rehabs, jails, and prisons, and even more. Um, but down there, we kind of got in the lifestyle of, being out and about. My parents were, kind of traditional Indian, really wanted us to stay home, to study, to go to school, and to come back and be inside. So my father and I started butting heads kind of at an early age. He was kind of like not really knowing how to deal with me, so he started sending me, different places to try to get me help and get me different education and make sure I was on the right path. So yeah, the first of these places I went was India, and then as I spoke about in my bio, the next India I was I was kind of a big 12-year-old, and I had learned how to drive a little by then. In kind of the beginning, and one of the worst places, the place that I still have crazy nightmares about that cause trauma and hurt so many young kids in the future in the past. And currently it's operating. It's called the Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs.
Mm-hmm.
The two I went to, namely, were called Costa by the Sea and Academy Ivy Ridge. They operate. There's for-profit entities that operate all over the world. But I was sent to one of these. The first one in 12 in Mexico. And these programs are structured to where you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning at your parents' house in your bed with two tall guys standing over you, on top of you, and they have to. I remember in my case, they had to turn the fan off in my room because these guys are so tall that if they're sitting in front of my bed, that their heads would hit the sand. Anyways, these two men come and escort you and take you to a program, whichever one you want to, whether it's in the States or outside the States. And when you get there, everything just changes. The lights go dim, the air gets different. You start getting cursed at, screamed, pushed, and shoved immediately. Your hair is cut off totally. Your clothes are stripped. Anything you had with you is taken, and you're put into a structured, routine program that is just based around and centered on mind washing, manipulation, torture, games, misinformation, manipulation, all the above. There's kids there that face everything from actually getting raped to just, sexual, advancements and encounters and, inappropriate actions, to physical stuff. Even in my case, from being kicked down the hallway, tied with your hands behind your back, and made to stay there for days at a time, and only allowed to a little bit of light and oranges during the time. From being cut off from the outside world, even to your family and parents. These places at a young age, and I was there at 12 or 13, and at 17 or 18, once you turn 18 in the program, you get out and get $50 bus passes put on the border with America and Mexico. So it's a crazy basic program that would really traumatize kids at a young age, and still operating. And a lot of my brothers and sisters have found each other finally after all this time, thanks to technology and the internet. And we have a group of us that's private on Facebook, and we kind of discuss these things. And actually, where I'm talking to you from right now today is about a quarter mile away from the school I went to at 12 in Mexico, in Baja California, Nevada. Actually, the last time I was here, I was able to pay a security guard down here to let me into the building and walk around and videotape, see the places where the story I told you a second ago about being kicked down the hallway and tied up and feet on my stomach. I actually got to see the room I was sitting in, the chair I was thrown from, the hallway I was kicked down, and the room that I was put in, the way of my stomach. And I got to see it as an adult, so really, I have dreams about this place and about those rooms. And seeing it as an adult, it really kind of put things in perspective and made me realize that a long time ago I was a kid, and it kind of helped me let go of it. So that's kind of like the early years. I know you said just give you a quick little intro, but that's kind of leading up to my first the first time my life was kind of thrown into a totally different path, and I learned a lot from them, and I heard a lot back then. One of the biggest reasons why helps me heal, it helps me understand and remember it also. And the kids out there that aren't still able to talk about it and still have issues from it, same thing, and kind of talking about it and working with you as well, some inspiration or some motivation or some help, or maybe just some hope from hearing the words.
That is just amazing. Like, wow. I'm a retired military guy myself, and I spent 22 years in the Army. And so going through basic training, kind of what you described is what we experienced like our first week of basic training, but it's kind of more internal with the guys trying to establish who's the alpha male. So we went through the fighting, the beatings in the middle of the night, and everything else, and the brainwashing and what have you. And it wasn't nowhere near as bad as what you experienced, but nonetheless, there are also parallels that we see in society that constantly keeps us in that mindset of we have to be around and everything else. So
I thank you for sharing that with us. That is that's something that people need to realize that's what's going on in the world.
I thank you. But I want to transition, Rocky, to
to the journey that your parents So my girlfriend and I back then went to the opera downtown Mobile, Alabama. And after leaving the opera, we went into a small bar in downtown Mobile. From there, what transpired was eventually led to me being thrown into a concrete sidewalk, and my entire face, my jaw being, crumbled and crushed. They had to take bone from the side of my head here and put it into my jaw right here in order to give me mini implants put it on top. Every single one of my teeth, except these two in the middle right here, has had to have like caps and small things under them because of all the injuries. I think I had maybe 10 to 15, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, like major surgeries stemming from just this alone. I was eating soft food for like 6 months. I really don't remember close to 6 months of my life. It's all kind of like a blur. And quite after there. And then for 2 years, roughly, I even went to prison with no teeth on this side of my mouth and just wire mesh. So crazy story. While I was sitting in prison, I was telling them, my teeth are hurting, it's bleeding, like I need a little bit of help, what's going on. And obviously in prison, everybody's trying to be like, hey, help me out here, get me dental code, get me out of here.
Sure, yeah, sure, sure.
Like, you look at me like, sure, whatever. But finally one day the metal popped up, like out of my mouth, out of the mesh, and they had to rush me to the hospital to do emergency surgery while I was there. And it was crazy. It was just constantly. I imagine being in prison and like hygiene is important. And I'm normally clean, but I mean I would brush my teeth like 2 or 3 times a day there. My mouth would bleed so much. It would just constantly smell the metal, the blood. Like,
It
it was
was,
horrible.
finally, I think a year or so after I got
But
out, I got my
finally
teeth
I
back,
got
and
my teeth
that was
back.
a really great day just
That
to
was a
have
really great day just to have
like have teeth in my mouth. They
my
changed my voice, my speech
speech
pattern,
pattern,
everything.
everything.
So
Yeah, yeah, I could imagine any kind of mouth trauma like that. I could imagine it would do that. I'm gonna show this picture here, and I kind of want you to try to explain to us what's going on here. Okay.
got it. Yeah. So
So
Yeah, so
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so the left
I would
hand
say so the
side
left hand
is
side is the picture would be like this, like the big face and my tongue out. That is actually me the day or two after surgery. I woke up from the incident I just talked about, the surgeries.
Mm,
So the reason my mouth is so, my jaw, my face is so swollen is because they had to enter and try to clean up. Like the doctor actually said my jaw was a bag of bones that you had to put back together. And the face being bloody on the eye, and the head is where my head hit the concrete as well. And you can see the only two teeth that are good right there in my top two. Yeah, this is a scary time. I couldn't talk. I don't really remember much of it. I remember people being in and out of the hospital room. And then
I don't suspect you to remember. I'm surprised you remember that much.
well, I mean, I remember this much now because like
Yeah.
my family's told me the story of
Yeah.
how what I was going through.
But
But
I don't
I don't
remember.
remember. When I look at this picture, honestly,
I know
and I
I'm
know
the
I'm the
one
one
to put it
put
up
up.
there.
Sometimes when I look at it too closely, it basically makes me. I look at it like, oh, that's what I would look like if I was dead. Almost like it's just my eyes and my tongue out and everything. It was
Mm.
yeah.
that was crazy. And then on to better times. And I just made this like three picture thing randomly one day, but the picture of me is just living downtown, and after I started getting more and more healthy, and uh, the boxing gloves on because me and one of my buddies are actually on top of the roof downtown LA, sparring, like practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like a big boxer. I'm not like lucky. I just it's fun, just here and there randomly, like very randomly.
Yeah.
And the third picture is also just like part of progress here in LA. This is actually at a fashion show, a women's empowerment fashion show in Hollywood, which I was a part of. I got to get some Indian dresses out there as well as some of my hair products and be a part of it. I can't remember the company right now; it just escapes just on the tip of my tongue. But they're a really good group out in LA, and I was honored to be invited to be part of that. Just kind of showing the progress, from 10 years ago, laying in a hospital bed, literally could have died if I didn't have help. Very easily, might have died. I definitely didn't think I'd have like a full smile and a face back. So I think I did that on a 10-year challenge post. So
If you look on
if you
social
look on social media,
media,
everyone
everyone
does
does
that 10-year
that 10-year
challenge.
challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I
I
remember
had a
that.
picture that could be like with a prison ID, and then that picture 10 years ago, and then living in LA cleaned up, and you can actually see the whites in my eyes in the next picture. So.
Wow. So, and I'm glad you you talked about the 10-year challenge. You know, so that was actually going to be my next question for you is from the time that you spent in Alabama going through prison and all of that good stuff to starting up your business. How long was that did that take you? From the day you walked out of prison to own your business right now. How long did that take?
So the day I walked out of prison, I jumped right back in the lifestyle. Um, I dove right back in. I thought I was going to be smarter than this guy. And eventually one day my dad came to me and like we always butted heads. I never wanted to listen to him, but he came real nicely. He was like, "Hey, Rob, you haven't been living at home. You've been out of prison now. Your things are done. You know, we don't know what's going on, but maybe you should get a condo. Maybe you should just leave the country. I'll pay for it." And that was November 4th, 2012 or 13. And something came in me, like a higher power, greater spirit, different energy. And it was like, yeah, well, all the girlfriends I had, all the people I was hustling with, got back in my life with, and the house I had, the car I had, I was like, I'm letting all this go. Just buying everything. And I went to India, and that's when I started changing my life. That's when the business plan I actually wrote was in prison. I wrote it in prison. We used to use a suck-in cell phone, call my homeboy, my cellmate, his cousin and his girl, and get prices and find out how much they cost and how much it's going to cost us to buy it. And I made a business plan there. So fast forward, when I was out in India a year or so later, I was trying to think of what to do in my life after I went there. I was like, I don't know what to do. I had no idea what to do when I left. I just decided to try something different and not want to sell drugs and look over my shoulder and be scared as I wake up to different beds anymore. I just wanted to see what else was out there. And I was like, I guess I needed to make some money legally. And the hair thing came about happy. I made one Facebook post, and my friends from high school were like, "Oh my God, you have hair? Call us, because we want to buy from you." And I never looked back from that day, and that was 7 years ago now. So 7 years ago now.
Wow.
So from then till 7 years is where I am now. And anybody listening that is an entrepreneur or going through the business journey, it took me at least 3 to 4 years to make, at the very beginning, to make any kind of money to be able to support myself or anybody, any family I might have.
Sure.
I was teaching tennis in the meantime. I was teaching tennis in New York and Connecticut, getting paid real close to $50 an hour. Because I've been playing since a kid. Tennis was a big part of my life.
Tennis?
I'm a very, very good tennis player. I was ranked in the top 5, top 10 in the South. In the juniors growing up, I had a top 500 world ranking. So I had a top 500. I actually played 3 courts away from Agassi, and Nick Bollettieri's tennis academy in Sarasota, Florida when I was a kid. I was actually only 3 courts down away from him while he was playing. So.
He's actually one of my favorite tennis players. That's why I threw that in. Yeah.
Like troublemaker.
Yeah, me too. Yep. John Daly for golf, rebel that he is. Yeah. So I have my rebels of athletes that I like. So Dennis Rodman, so it's just I don't know, something's wrong with me. But
everybody has a little rebel squad somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your bio, you say you speak 4 languages. What are those 4 languages?
So I speak English, obviously. Hindi, Punjabi, which are both Indian languages, dialects of India.
Okay.
And I speak Spanish as well. I actually learned Spanish complemented that nice little boot camp I went to Cashapp in Mexico. So I was forced to learn Spanish, and it stuck with my whole life. And I'm actually very grateful for that now because Spanish helps me a lot. I'm in Mexico right now, actually, as we speak. Like I said, in Baja, California.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was in LA actually, right down the street from your store there in January. I was there right across from the Staples Center, staying at the hotel there. I want to say it was the Marriott or something like that. I can't remember, but it was literally like you go out the hotel front doors, you go across the street, the Staples Center is right there. So I was staying. I was there in January for a Student Veterans of America conference. We was there for 4 days, national convention. So I wish I would have known you back then.
Definitely.
I want to ask you, what made you decide to get into
Like I said, I
Well,
was in,
Smart. All the things you could have got into. You know, I want.
yeah, that was crazy. My friends look at me the same way, like
Go
do
hair.
everything from coach to Pizza Hut driver to service assistant to obviously the dope lifestyle.
I do everything. I used to sell Jordan hats.
Talent
I used to
management.
do talent management. I used
I
to
used to
cut
work at a
grass
labor
for the labor
company.
company.
I used to do whatever. And I was always hopping around. And hair literally started
I just do
from
it.
me sitting in prison with Jock, my homeboy's name, and my bunk. Instead of doing what everybody else was doing, we were brainstorming business ideas.
My bunk man.
Hair wasn't the only one.
Hair wasn't the only one.
I have a journal. I have all
Like
these
I have a
journals
journal.
that
I
I'm
have these
actually
journals I'm actually
releasing.
using.
It's
It's
kind of
kind of
like
like
my
my
first
first
book.
book.
Kind
Kind
of
of
showing
showing
my
them
mind state 10
10
years
years
ago.
ago.
All
All
my
my
journals,
journals,
like
like
from
from
way
way
back
back
then,
then,
like
like
the
the
business
business
plan
plan
and
and
everything.
everything.
So
So
it's
it's
kind
kind
of
of
showing
showing
the
the
mindset I
mindset
was
I was
in.
in.
Like
Like
I
I
really
really
give
give
myself
myself
enough
enough
credit, but
credit,
I
but
was
I was
actually
actually
way
way
we were
overthinking
thinking back
back
then
then.
was
Was
very
very
like
like
trying to
trying
get
to
out
get
of
out of
that
that
lifestyle, but
lifestyle,
not
but not
sure
sure
how
how
to.
to.
And
Hmm.
you
Like
can
you could
see,
see,
like
like
me
me
looking
looking
back, I
back, I
can
can
see
see
like
like
little
little
get
get
almost
almost
like
like
with
with
light
light
and
as
I
I
was
was
trying to
trying
get
to get
away
away
from
from the
darkness,
darkness,
but
but
not
not
sure
sure
how
how
to.
to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind
Kind
of
of
cool
cool
looking
looking
back to
back to
see
see
that.
that.
But the
But the
business
business
plan was
plan
one
was
of
one
those
of those
things we
things we
made,
made,
and
and
I didn't
I
know it was
didn't
going
I
to be
didn't know it
here.
was going to be
Not
here.
even then.
Not even then.
Not even when I got to India. Not even when I went to India. In fact, in India, I didn't want to come back to America.
Not
I
even when
wanted
I
to
got
stay
back, I
there,
wanted to stay
open a
there,
liquor
and open
store
a
or a
liquor store or
restaurant
a
or some kind of
restaurant or some
cool
kind of cool little
tourist thing to
tourist thing to
show
show
people
people
from
America
America
around
around
India,
India
because I
because
could
I
be
could
their
be their
guide. Like I
guide. Like I
wanted to do
wanted to do
something
something
there,
there.
and nothing
Went
really
back
panned out
there,
there.
and
And
hair
hair
ended up,
ended up,
panning
panning
out.
out.
And I
And I
met
met
the
the
right
right
people.
people.
I
I
traveled
traveled
around,
around,
met
met
the
the vendors,
vendors,
the
the
sources,
sources,
the
the
factories,
factories,
everybody.
everybody.
And
And
it
it
worked
worked
out,
out.
and
And
it
it
just
just
it
felt
felt right.
right.
I
I
was
was
always
always
nervous
nervous
and
and
scared.
scared.
Things
Things
were
were
up
up
and
and
down.
down.
I
I
remember
remember
when
when
I
I
first
first
started
started
after
after
2 years,
2 years,
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
man,
man,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
have
have
to
to
teach
teach
more
more
tennis
tennis
because
because
I'm
I'm
not
not
making
making
enough
enough
money
money
to
to
support
support
anybody.
anybody with this. And then I tore my ACL and my MCL teaching tennis, and I was like, okay, now I don't have tennis. This is my fallback, but I need to get in my business 10 times more. And I dove in 10 times more. I've really never been like that when it comes to work. Like I said, I've always hopped around.
With
With
hair,
hair,
it
it
felt
felt
right.
right.
The
The
timing
timing
was
was
right.
right.
My
My
life
life
was
was
right.
right.
I
I
was
was
ready
ready
to
to
do
do
something.
something.
And
And
hair was
hair was
kind of one
kind
of
of
the
one of the
first things
first
that
things
came
that
in my
came in my
lap.
lap.
And
And
I
I
feel like
feel
there's
like
gonna be
there's
many
many
more
more
things that
things
I
that I
do,
do,
all
all
more
more
aligned and
aligned and
connected with
connected with
things that
things
I'm
that I'm more
passionate
passionate
about
about
now.
now.
But I
I
feel
feel
like
like
we'll
I'll
all
kind of
kind
be
of be
like
like
that,
that.
I'll
I'll
kind of
kind
just
of just
take it
take
as
it
it
as it
comes,
comes,
start it in
start it in
front of
front
me,
of me,
and
and
just run
just
with
run
it.
with it.
And I'm
And I'm
Hmm.
enjoying it.
enjoying it. I
I
love
love
working
how
out
it
and
works.
work.
Right
Right
now,
now,
if
if
I
I
could
could
turn
turn
my
my
screen
screen
on,
off,
like
if
I'm
I'm
looking
looking
at
at
the
the
beautiful
beautiful
marina, the water, mountains, and I'm
working
working
as
as
well,
well.
I
I
wake
wake
up
up
every
every
morning
morning
and
and
get
do
to
talk
talk
to
to
my
my clients.
clients.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
blessed
blessed
to
to
be
be
in
in
this
this
industry
industry
and
and
to
to
be
be able to
received
see
so
so
well
well
Yeah.
in
in
this
this
industry.
industry also.
And that is remarkable, and it's awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, for those that are watching, I'm in case you're like y'all sitting back because the story is so extraordinary. It's just like you don't run across people like this every day, and you're like, yeah, he's full of and whatever else. It happens, because I have people that will call me or they'll text me and they'll say you're lying or that didn't happen and whatever else, and I have to like provide proof, and say, these things did happen. As crazy as they may sound, as crazy as it may have went down, or whatever the case, folks, life is not always a conspiracy theory. It is what it is.
For us to tie this all together, everything that Rocky is talking about right now,
And
here's a
so, in
video
footage
of
of his
everything
death.
going on. So right here, we'll be right back.
My name is Rocky Kandola. I'm CEO and founder of Hair Maiden India. Hair Maiden India began as an idea in Himachal Pradesh, India. It's basically a mountain region there. A lot of people go there to do yoga, spiritual retreats, relaxation, very beautiful area. While my wife and I were in this area, we kind of were discussing things, and we happened to come up on a guru. We spoke with him for a while, and he kind of pointed us in this direction for no real reason at all. And we dove headfirst into it. 95% of all the human hair on the market starts in India. From there, people from Cambodia, from Peru, from Malaysia, from China come, take hair from a low quality from our temples or from our barbershops on the ground and heavily process them. I'm concentrating on the raw source. I want to make sure before anybody thinks of doing a style or a color that they have a proper raw product that they can manipulate and do that with. And without me, they won't be able to do that. In this industry, there's so much misinformation, there's so much misdirection with Asian markets such as Korea and China coming in with processed synthetic hairs. They actually get the hair from our temples in India and then process it. What we provide is a transparent business model showing you exactly where this hair is coming from, exactly what we are doing with it, and giving it to you in 100% raw state. That raw state allows our clients, our businesses, to in turn manipulate it how they want to color and style the hair as they please. And that's what people are looking for. They want to have that longevity out of their hair, especially if your retail client pays $1,000 plus for a piece. They don't want to come back and have a bad hair day anytime soon. And that's what we're here to ensure. Here at the Los Angeles showroom, we do retail here simply to cater to the huge number of stylists and women in the area that are doing shows with Hollywood, etc. We're directly across the street from the Convention Center and Staples Center as well, which is why we added the addition of our salon chairs. So, girls can come in and get a consult for their wigs as well as get the full wig install or a hot oil treatment, or just pick out a couple bundles that they want to wear and take to their own stylist and do. My name is Singh Kandola. I'm the CEO and founder of Hair Maiden India, where I take the trip to India 2 to 3 times each year to ensure the quality in all of our hair extensions. This industry is so diluted with misinformation that businessmen and women are required these days to double check their quality and their vendors. I invite you to check out my website, check out our social media, and come visit us at Hair Maiden India so you don't have to take those risks.
All right, folks, we can't make this stuff up. Even if we try, we can't make it up. I'm sorry, So here it is. I have an actual person. I tell many stories. Been doing this show for what, 4 years now. And people always say you're lying, that didn't happen, or whatever else. Here we are. Another proof in the pudding.
Awesome.
For Rocky, actually, I'm sorry, folks, you can go to hairmaidenindia.com and check out the website, and you can also go to rockycandola.com and get a conglomerate of everything that he has going on and see his bio, see his lifestyle, see his story, and a link to his store. You can check it out if you're in the LA area. Now, Rocky, I would love to keep you on for like 3 more hours, but we're going into the lightning round now. So tell me about has COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID, whatever it is, wherever we are now, has COVID impacted your business at all?
COVID, I'm actually blessed to say that COVID has helped me and my business, personal life and business life. Um, I'm I'm very sad what's going on in the world. I don't wish anybody to be hurt ever or scared ever. But I've taken this time with COVID. Not in the very beginning, I had a really tough time where I was literally pulling my hair out and screaming and crying in the very beginning. But I've taken this time to really focus on myself, my business, and implement new things, both in personal life as well as my business is training the website and all kind of small things. And I've seen a very big increase, about 400% increase in e-com sales since COVID has started, and they're just continuously growing. So not only that, the video you saw with me being downtown, I'm not sure I touched on this much, but I actually have an ex-wife, and I had that place with her down there with my ex-wife, and it was starting to really tear me apart to keep living there, and it wasn't good for me. And during COVID, I was actually able to go by appointment only instead of being open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, which I was for 3 years.
Mm.
I was finally able to let go of that. I gave away everything in that downtown unit, from furniture, electronics, to my clothes, to my suits, to food and bedding and sheets, to homeless and people around me, and left it. And eventually got a place in Beverly Hills, a new showroom there. And I really almost thank COVID for that because I think if COVID didn't happen, I probably would still be there and just tough it out. I was scared to leave because I'm a convicted felon, and this apartment complex downtown, and it's a business I live work off and zoned as commercial residential, gave me a chance. Put X amount of money in your bank account. We don't care about your history. We don't care about your conviction. We'll rent to you. So I worked my ass off and worked and took a loan at the end of the day and finally got a place there downtown to let me in. And that was what I got my ex-wife back with eventually. And then we broke up again. Long story, but that was kind of like a big move for me. And to let go of all that I thought I built, I once again created an identity and a definition of success that was limited to that building downtown. And everyone's like, oh, you're at the Staples Center, you're doing it. Wow, like, and I couldn't let myself get so attached to that again. And around the same time, I started speaking also. I made a decision that if I couldn't be myself and share who I was and openly to my business clients and whoever I talk to, then I'm not in the right business, I'm not in the right place, and I need to figure something out. Because my parents and people told me, hey, we're going to lose business. If they know that you're a felon, if they know that you were a crazy kid, or if they know you were addicted to drugs at one time.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, like, I was scared. In fact, the reason I was laughing during that video that you played, because if you take the context of the first part where I described how Hair Maiden India started, I said that I was in the mountains of Blue in India. And my mom and dad were behind the camera. There was a photographer, an edit person, an interviewing lady, and the makeup person there. And my ex-wife was there. I was nervous. And I just opened that showroom. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, should I tell them to have it in prison? I can't say that.
Right.
I just got to LA. I just started doing good. Like,
yeah.
Shut me down immediately. So I just made something up right there.
Cancel culture.
I look back at it now.
Yeah, cancel culture, man. Yeah, as soon as you would have mentioned the P word, prison, they'd be like, oh, nope.
Everybody takes a breath inside. The whole room changes when you say it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, I totally get it. So, how many employees do you have?
So I have a small team. We're about four people right now.
Okay.
We have one person working in store. We have my chief of operations in Alabama, a friend of mine from college. My girlfriend Trina actually heads up our social media and our design department. And then we have media and website back-end development outsourced to a friend of ours in the Philippines. Then we have some more social media and ad work through a company called Logical Position. I think they're based out of Oregon. So
small team, but impact. Yeah, it's a small team, but an impactful team.
Exactly. The really big thing about that is we all know each other very well. We know each other's, wants, needs, our loves, our hates. We know each other's boyfriends and girlfriends and families. We're close. We all four of us in the main leadership part of the team have been through some rough areas in our life, whether it's drugs or family or abuse or trauma. We can all relate to each other very well. And I like it like that. I do things very different than most businesses do, I believe. And my father and tons of people gave me advice to do the opposite of the way I hire and the way I run operations between my team. But I really wanted it from the beginning.
Hey, Rocky, I think your microphone cut off.
Sorry,
oh, there you go. Yep, there you go. Gotcha.
I was just saying, so basically, I really, when I started the business, I really wanted to be about a community of people together, aligned with each other on a common purpose to support each other and grow both in life and in business. And I really feel like for the first time ever, I've tried so many friends and had so many people steal from the business and hurt things and bother things. I'm smiling because it was all a learning process.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was tough to lose a couple $1,000 when you're just starting and then lose it to a friend and took it or something like that, so it was very tough. But now, for the first time ever, I have around me a solid group of people and a team that we're not perfect at all. Like just yesterday, people were talking about how disorganized we are. I was like, it's coming together though. First it was just me, but now the team's coming, so we're all learning how to organize together. And that's why I'm so excited because I've scaled it so much in the last 2 years. Literally like 200 year on year. That now with the team, not me doing it myself, that I'm really excited about what we can do next year.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you, and this is like I don't know if you've ever been familiar with Success Magazine. It used to be ran by Darren Hardy back in the day.
Success
Success
Magazine?
Magazine?
Yeah, yeah. I just finished his book, The Compound Effect. I know
Oh yeah, I heard
it's
about
older,
it.
yeah, it's an older book, but I got so many books I'm trying to get through, man. But it's an excellent book, audio book I listened to. But you ought to be a feature in Success Magazine if it was still around, because you have such an amazing story. And I wanted to ask you, has with the George Floyd rioting this year that transpired and everything else, and we saw like literally almost every city in America like in flames. Did has the rioting, Antifa, BLM, has any of that that's been going on in the last few months, has that impacted business for you in your area at all? Or have y'all seen? Was there any concern, like, oh man, these guys are coming down the street, they might hit my shop up? Was there any of that
Yeah,
going on?
crazy.
Crazy.
I
I
love
love
you
you
asked
asked
that.
that.
So first
First
of
of all,
all,
like
what
what
happened?
happened?
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it
it
impacted
impacted
worldwide
worldwide
everything.
everything.
Hmm.
And
And
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
more of
more
a
of a
personal
personal
thing
thing
because
because
it hit me.
everything
Everything
that
that
was
was
happening
happening
at
at
the
the
same
same time,
time,
like
like
the
the
emotion
emotion
and
and
the
the
passion
passion,
and the both sides of the fighting and how very similar they got. It was very emotional. I remember that my friend Nick had came to visit me from Alabama, and we were on a road trip. Granted,
right?
we
We
didn't
didn't
know
know
that
that
riots were going to happen. We just took the
was
road
going to
trip the
happen. We
day
just took a trip
before
the day
up
before
the East Coast of the
up the
West
East
Coast of
Coast to the
California.
West Coast of
That
California.
night we
That
got
night we
to
got to
San
San
Luis
Luis,
Obispo and Morro
Morro
Bay,
Bay.
and we started learning about the riots going on. And I remember in the beginning I was like worried. I was like, oh my god, they're right down the street from my shop, like right down the street from my shop, and I have a full glass front window shop. And I started thinking more and more, and I got to a place of like, like, what do I do? Because I feel I just it was such a tough like place for me because I love seeing anybody from any kind of
Kind of
place
place
of
of
like
like
being
being
put
put
down or
down or
being
being
any
any
kind of
kind of
tyrannical
tyrannical
position or
position or
being
being
hurt,
hurt,
especially
especially
being
being
hurt,
hurt,
to
to
stand
stand
up
up
and
and
to stop what's happening from happening. So I love the idea behind it. And then as a business owner, I was like, what side of me do I think about? So eventually I was like, you know what? If they take my stuff, it's just some inventory, some hair, and if they break in, like, it'll be okay. The biggest thing is I shouldn't be there and like get shot like that or get caught up in some violence. So let me just stay out of the way. So I didn't come back for 2 days later. And when I came back the next week and it kept on, it still was happening. I just took the inventory out of there and put it in my car. And just I was like, I'm not boarding up my windows or anything like that. It was scary though because like just
just
being
being
downtown
downtown
LA and
LA and
like
like
seeing
seeing
like
like
the
the
big
big
military
military
trucks
trucks
right in front of my house, like right in front of my house. There was staging right in front of my house, the Staples Center. Like that was kind of, especially
especially
being
being
a
a
convicted
convicted
felon,
felon,
like
like
in
in
that
that
background,
background,
just kind of
just
just
having
having that
that
around.
around,
I
I
was
was
just
just
like,
like,
my
my
heart
heart
all
all
day
day
was
was
just
just
beating
beating
fast.
fast.
And I
I
was
Yeah.
was
like,
like,
No, somebody will kick in your door and be like, "Hey, you coming with us because your name
yeah,
is on
right.
this
I was
roster."
like,
Yeah.
I
I
haven't
haven't
had
had
a
a
go
go
bag.
bag.
I
I
used
used
to
to
have
have
this
this
thing
thing
called a
called a
go
go
bag
bag
when
when
I
I
was
was
in
in
that
that
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
And I
I
haven't
haven't
had
had
a
a
go
go
bag
bag
since
since
I
I
was
was
in
in
that
that
life.
life.
And I
And I
remember
remember
during
during
that
that
time,
time,
I
I
actually
actually
put
put
a
a
go
go
bag
bag
next
next
to
to
my
my
bed,
bed,
which
which
is
is
basically
basically
just
just
cash,
cash,
money,
money,
passport,
passport,
a couple
couple
clothes,
clothes,
like
like
that,
that's
ready to
ready to
go.
go.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
I did. I was like, yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what's
what's
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen.
I
I
need
need
to
to
be
be
ready
ready
to
to
get
get
out
out
of
of
here.
here.
Get ready to go. Yep. Ready to bounce out at a moment's notice. And that's a super smart thing to do. And it's amazing that you actually brought that up because I was just having a conversation this morning with one of my friends. They was talking about how we're about to devolve into a civil war, and I was like, yeah, I don't think we're going to go that far. There may be some skirmishes between small little fringe groups here and there, but I don't think we're going to get boiled down to that point. But if we do, I might be out. I'm out. grab that bag and be on the bird. Like
Wait, I
y'all,
love all y'all.
yeah, I
Be
love
safe,
y'all,
get
but
yourself. I'll be back whenever everything's over.
see y'all. Hey, see y'all in a couple weeks. I might come back to some free property. I might go do some squatting. Hey, who knows? But well, what? So I'm gonna ask you, what are your goals for 2021? What plans do you have, lined up? What do you see doing in for the next year?
I have
I
a
have a
lot
lot
going
going
on. I
on.
mean,
I
I
just
just
started
started
a
a
rental
rental
property
property
company.
company.
Oh wow.
I bought my first property. Yeah, and so I'm trying to manage that. And I really want to get my second one in 2021.
I
I
just
just
want
want
to
to
really
really
learn
learn
how to
how to
manage the
manage the
first
first
one
one
properly
properly
and
and
then get
then
the
get the
second
second
one.
one.
On
On
top of
top of
that,
that,
for
for
Hair
Hair
Maiden
Maiden
India,
India,
I
I
just
just
want
want
to
to
change
change
the
the
scale.
scale.
My goal for 2021
In
December
December
is
is
to
to
have
have
my
my
entire
entire
team
team
basically where I am now by the end of December 2021, basically living their lifestyle and being able to work and live and do what they want to do and do other things they want to do by this time next year. That's going to take a good bit of work from everybody.
Yeah.
And to continue doing those things without, working my butt off to do it to get to the point now, what I can do and not have to worry about, financial burden on it is being able to speak, travel and speak, hopefully go to kids and schools around America first and different countries and kind of share my story, share what I was as a kid, share the mindset I was in, and show them like how it took me 10 years to change my mindset, but this is how I did it. And then if you want to, you can change yours right now, or you can use it later, but it's good to have this info. Just kind of try to inspire and motivate them. I've got a couple of books coming out, within the next couple months as well. And then I have a CBD company called Finality, which we kind of got chokeholded on because it didn't advertise as good. I didn't have much time to actually advertise as I wanted to. But now I think with the CBD laws and everything changing, my team and I might start to kind of pick that up a little more. And then lastly, we'll work on a nonprofit to help out, any cancer survivors, cancer people that need help with wigs right now. Right now, the totally upside down and just not helping out people that are patients. And my chief of operations, Brand, is working on putting together people in the backside of this so we can, kind of get that out going in 2021. And actually really help some people that, need some good quality hair and not have to pay, ridiculous amounts for it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that I guess that covers the next 5 years as well. So I was going to ask you next, like, where's your 5-year plan? But I think that covers the next 5 years. Because you're gonna the next year, if all those things come into fruition, right? If everything works out to plan, you're gonna spend those next 4 to 5 years coming out of the red from the investments, from building and everything else before you start seeing positive net results from that. So I can imagine that the next 5 years, if everything stays on track the way it is right now, you're gonna it's gonna blow up for you and your team. So that's what I was going to ask you. So what do you see in the next 5 years?
In
In
5 years,
5 years,
we own this house that we're sitting at right now.
we're
We'll
sitting at
like
right
it.
now.
And coming up on Christmas time, we're
We'll
all going to
like
be here
and we're all going
on
to
a
be here
fully expensed
on a
Hair
fully
Maiden India
expensive Hair
vacation
Maiden India
retreat
vacation retreat
for a
for
bonus
those.
for the whole company. So our family's here, eating good food, having some nice champagne, and enjoying each other's company. And maybe we all flew in on
Maybe we
a
all flew in on
company
a
jet.
company jet. That would be
That's the goal right there.
that's
The
like the
company jet.
jet.
That's what
I love to travel.
travel's
Travel's
my
my
thing.
thing.
I'm
I'm
not.
not
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about cars and clothes. Like you give me the chance to go to a different country, go across the world, and walk around in a backpack, and sign me up. I'm ready to go. So having a plane or a jet, something for the company that we travel for shows and for business and et cetera, et cetera. That is the I think one of the grandest goals I have as far as materialistic stuff,
Yeah.
quote unquote materialistic goes. So
Okay. Good deal. So man, this hour went by quick. It went by quick, man, and I love it. But tell us where we can find you, where people can find you, get in touch with you, follow you, and all that good stuff. Let us know.
Got it. Yeah, so I say this a lot, and I'm one of the easiest people to find, and I really am. Back in the day, I used to hide my numbers and change phones and this and that when I was in that life. Now, you can literally go to Google right now, type in Rocky Singh Kandola, or maybe just Rocky Kandola, and you'll have 4 pages about my tennis history, my prison history, my business, and everything I do. I was going to make it easier, though. You can just go directly to RockyKandola.com. That's RockyKandola.com. From there, there's links to all the businesses I spoke of, everything that I do, all my past history and podcasts I've done as well. And if you're looking for my hair extension business, looking for a wholesale partner, reseller, an affiliate, anything like that, visit hairmaidenindia.com. And that's spelled Maiden like Maiden, like your mother's maiden name, because we work with Virgin hair extensions and Maiden and Virgin. So kind of play on words, but Hair Maiden India. If you don't spell it right, don't worry. We do own both domains, MADE and MAIDE. So you'll get there either way. Yeah, come check us out. If you want to talk about some of the past stuff or some of the family history stuff, definitely reach out to me directly. I talk about business all day, so I love the personal talks and this kind of stuff way more. And reach out to me.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Rocky Candola, CEO, founder, entrepreneur, the god of like a lot of things right now. He's getting there. He's a demigod. He's not the god yet. He's a demigod right now. He's coming up. He's coming up in the world, and I highly encourage everyone to reach out, check him out, and and get with them and get into this world of just trying to improve, because that's what we're about in life today, is looking for the next thing to improve and to become better, to become the better me tomorrow. We so Rocky, I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much. And despite the minor technical glitches, we was able to get through it. So, but I'll definitely bring you back on in the near future and check on you and see how you're doing and give an update.
Definitely.
So, talk to you later.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
rest
you
of
so
your
much.
week.
Have a good rest of your week.
You do the same. Thank you. Chop, chop. Take it easy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're down to the bottom of the hour here on TECN TV. I appreciate you all tuning in today. We that was a phenomenal host that we guest that we just had. I feel like he was the host. But you can check out my follow me on the social media there. RPerm on Instagram, YouTube. I am now on BitChute as well, because YouTube has been blocking my videos. I'm not mad at them. They gotta do what they gotta do. Community standards, I like to violate them. That's okay. So, but you can catch this show on those platforms, on Parler, YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble next week. Next week. I will not be here Friday.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.